Alright, so welcome back to game design, and we're looking at adding a splash screen to our project. So this video segment is going to be part of what we're calling Project 3. We're continuing on with the same project with box collecting, the maze, and outdoor scene. And in this segment we're going to add a splash screen with some buttons and menu options for the player of the game. So let's go ahead and we're going to go up to Unity, File, and we're going to create a new scene, and we're going to call this scene splash screen. So let's go ahead. We'll save the scene, and we're going to title it splash screen. And we'll leave it in assets for now since that's where it's at. If you want, you can move it. If yours is somewhere else, I'm going to drag mine into the scenes over here. So it's in the scenes folder. Right, so next we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a button to our scene. So in order to add a button, we're going to go up to the game object menu. We're going to go down to the UI, and then we're going to select button. Okay. So what Unity does when you create a button is it creates this canvas, right? And in the canvas we've got our button, and we've got this event system that are created. So you can see our button object here. If you want, you can click on that button object. You can move the canvas around. You can click on the button and move the button around. If you'd like to center it on the screen, that would be centering it. And notice the white line around the edge here is the canvas or the working area for your splash screen. So depending on what you want to create as far as that button, you can also recolor the button if you want to. So we can give it a tealish green color with the color wheel here. If we use this color option, you can choose any color you want. Brown or green might work well since this is a kind of a earthy feel for the scene, the outdoor, and the maze. You can also tag the button here if you want to. So what we need to do next in order to interact with the button is we're going to need to create a script for this button. So in order to create the script, we're going to go in the project tab down here and choose the create menu from the project tab. We're going to go with a new C# script, and you may want to pre-select the folder here that's called scripts and create your C# script there. And then we can call this splash menu. And now we've got a script for splash menu in your scripts folder, hopefully, or someplace where it'll make sense for you to find it. And then we're going to go ahead and double click that so that we can open the splash menu script. And we're going to add some code at the beginning. So it's loading our new script for the splash menu. And then at the beginning here, we want to add using Unity Engine dot scene management. Go ahead and save the script. Control S or Command S, depending on your machine that you're using. And we're also going to create a new function down below here. So let's move down below the update method, and we're going to add a public method that is void in its return, and we're going to use the load main game method. Then we need some curly brackets for our method, and we're ready to type some code into our load main game method. So we're going to use the scene manager dot load scene, and depending on what you named your scene, this is going to be the text of whatever you named your scene. So it could be maze, it could be the outdoor scene, depending on what you want to load. So I think mine is named maze, so I can use maze there. And then don't forget your semicolon at the end of the line of your script there. So whatever you've named the maze part, you need to put in here because we want to load the indoor scene first. So make sure that you have that there, and we're going to use that to load the indoor scene. So now we're going to make sure that's saved. And then we're going to go back to the Unity editor here. And in the Unity editor, you're now going to want to link this script to the button. Okay. So in order to do that, you should be able to view your button here. We can activate the button. We've got our splash screen script down here. And we're going to take the Unity editor and create an empty object. So we're going to go up to game object and create empty. So we've got an empty game object at this point. And we want this game object to hold our script. Okay. So this is a game object container that's going to hold the splash screen script that you created. So we're going to drag and drop our new script from the project window onto this empty contained script. So you can see our splash screen splash menu script down here in our scripts folder. So I was on the scenes folder, so make sure you're in the scripts folder. And you have your splash menu, and then you need to drag that splash menu up to the contained script, and then you should be able to click on this and see that your splash menu is here. So your script is located here. And you can see it was added and that it worked. So make sure you go back and check your button or click on your button so that it's active and selected. And then look over to the right here in the inspector window and scroll down to the plus sign located in the on click area. So it's under the button script here. We've got on click. So this is housing any click events that you want to add to the button. So we're going to go ahead and add a click event here to this button. So we can hit the plus sign, and then here it brings up a menu for the on-click event. So it's got an empty placeholder right here in the little box underneath the drop-down menu that's labeled none, where an object could be added. So we're going to go ahead and add our object that we created over here in the hierarchy that's called contain script, and we're going to drop it right in that window there underneath the drop-down menu. So now you can see that the text has changed to contain script. And hopefully yours reflects that as well. At this point, I would go ahead and save it again, save your project. So however you want to do that, if you want to do Control S, or if you want to go up to File and save as, save your scene at any rate. So now we want to go back over here to this on-click event, focusing in the inspector, and we're going to look at this particular box that says no function. Okay, so we want to go down to the splash menu, and then in that splash menu you should see a method listed here that's called load main game. Okay, so we're going to select that load main game, and now you should see it showing up over here on the right in the inspector window next to the runtime only drop down. It says splash menu dot load main game, and we have our contain script object here in the box that we added previously. Okay. So when we load the main game, what that's going to do is it's going to load that scene that we said it was maze in our script. And so that maze scene will be loaded. So before we can test this scene with our button, we need to go up to File, go down to Build Settings, and we need to check the build settings and add our open scene. Notice it's not listed here. It's called splash screen. So we want to also include the splash screen in our settings for the build settings. So we've got that added. I'm also going to save the scene. So now my asterisk is gone. So now everything's there. I'm going to also save the project again using the Save Project menu from the file. So before we test, or no, let's go ahead and test, and then we'll add another closing one. So go ahead and hit play. Wait a minute for your project to load as it builds and pulls everything together. Notice we've got a button displaying here on the screen. Let's go ahead and mouse over our button. Go ahead and click, and notice that it loads our maze scene and our timer starts running. So it looks like everything is working according to plan at this point with your button. So we'll go ahead and pause at this point, and we'll make another video looking at how to add the similar thing for the ending of the game.